What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ty here again. Another episode of Ty Talks. I hope you can all see me. As you see, we got kind of a new background for today's video. And I appreciate all of you guys who are subscribing, liking, whatever. I know there's not many right now as we're kind of in the beginning of the channel. And I don't really care about being the biggest channel. I don't expect to really blow up or anything. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here pretty much for two things, and that's to spread the gospel and kind of share my story to help others, because I kind of have a hard time with anxiety and speaking to other people sometimes. So this is kind of just a big kind of a step into being able to serve my mission while I'm here on this earth. And number two is also ties into number one, because like I said, I have a lot of anxiety, and being able to get in front of the camera is an event, because I don't have a lot of friends and stuff. This is really therapeutic for me. So when I see other people comment, it makes me feel like I'm not just talking to the camera, I'm actually reaching people. So that's big for me. So today's video, I'm gonna be kind of giving my testimony. I kind of gave it a brief description of it in the introduction video I put out, but this is gonna be a little bit more in depth. So here it goes. So growing up, we're gonna start from the beginning. My father, my biological father, who I'm close to this day, but so my parents, they weren't married or anything, you know. They had me. My dad was, you know, kind of in and out. My mom really raised me with the help of like my grandparents and plenty of other family members. You know, me and my mom have always been really close. You know, we lived together, we struggled together, and so I guess I would have to do the math, the dates. I'm not, like I said, my dad wasn't really there as much in my younger days, so I can't really tell you exactly. I know how many years and stuff he did, but basically he went to jail when I was young, and so that was that. And so my mom married my stepdad. I was gonna show you a picture, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I have a picture like right here. Maybe you can see it with where the camera's at. I don't know. I'll have to see when I go edit the video. But anyway, so she married my stepdad, and he adopted me. And so that was that. You know, things were good. You know, that my mom, she really turned to the Lord and had a big transformation with her life, and she found God, and she really made that her biggest thing for us. I have a brother too. Actually, I have two brothers. One from my mom, a brother from my dad, and a sister from my dad, which I'll kind of get into. I might have to make two parts for this video, because you can't really do a testimony in one video, especially when it's not letting me post 15-minute or longer videos for some reason. But I'll do like, let's see how this goes. Anyway, so you know, we were raised like that, and you know, I'm not really good on exact times or anything, but at some point, pretty much, my mom and I don't know, it's weird to say dad when I'm so close to my dad. I mean, not weird to say dad, like I call my stepdad dad, but it's like weird to, I don't know, say just to call both the same person dad. I don't know. I say my stepdad, but as I stated, he legally adopted me. But I don't really care about all that, man. It is what it is. We're not gonna get all technical. My biological dad is my father. We're still close, so that's not really, all that other stuff isn't important, you know. Anyway, so they had some issues, my stepdad and my mom, and so they kind of separated, and pretty much, you know, my mom, she'd just work, come home, and sometimes he'd see my stepdad and sometimes not. And it was really, that part of my life was sad for me. I really started to get sad and start to struggle with kind of like the depression part. That's when I really started to kind of first notice myself getting depressed at that time of my life. And and my mom never really told me that my dad was in jail until like later. I kind of reached out, and so I was really confused. Like I was just so confused. You know what I mean? At that point, like I didn't know what was anything. I didn't know how, like if this was normal, if this was how it's supposed to go. And where I grew up, a lot of my friends, you know, the people I grew up with, they were either raised by single moms or different situations at home that weren't just the ideal mom and dad, you know, married and whatever. So anyway, so I grew up and I was really strong with my Christianity. I stated this in my introduction too, up until probably like middle school, and I started kind of getting in, you know, I started, you know, I started dating and stuff, and getting really into women and stuff, whatever, you know how it is in middle school. Anyway, so that's kind of when I started taking the path down. And mind you, my parents, they were separated until probably like sixth, seventh grade, maybe. From the time I was in like, I'm gonna take a guess here. It was like from the time I was in like third grade until like seventh grade. So that whole time I was really struggling with stuff. And then come like eighth grade, you know, I was really, really struggling and rebelling with things. I really lost it, kind of, man. Um really started seeing some problems around that time, especially in my life. It was crazy. Me and, you know, like my stepdad, since he was gone for all the time, and I kind of found out the whole story, like with my life, and I kind of just hated him and hated everybody. Really, I was just really rebellious, and I wanted to fight everybody. I felt like I could fight everybody and everything, and I would. It was crazy. I'm not gonna get into too many details, but just know that it was some crazy fights and stuff going on here, man. It was some crazy stuff going on, and so I really started to develop depression, anger, um, and so. And then at this time I had like my first girlfriend, and it was both of like our first time in a relationship, and it just kind of wasn't healthy. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to really do it, so it just wasn't healthy. I look back, I'm like, what was I doing? You know what I mean? And so, mind you, this time in like eighth grade, my main thing in life was football, football, football. I loved football, and like I quit my ninth grade year. I just really started just going down a different kind of path in life, man. And so, like my whole high school, you know, I still believed in God, but I wasn't following. Um, I wasn't following that like a Christian lifestyle or anything. I was started having sex around that time, and like I said in my other video, weed, and things just kind of got out of hand. I still played sports, and senior year, I would say, even though I probably wasn't, you know, a super devout Christian, I was doing pretty good. You know, I was playing sports. I started figuring things out. So anyway, fast forward after senior year, like I said, I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself because I said a lot of this stuff in my other videos. But I really started smoking a ton of weed. I really started smoking a ton of weed and having a lot of sex, and things just started spiraling. I had a good job though, so for like a year after high school, I worked at a hospital, and it was really good for me. And then, like, it wasn't full time, but I still made some good money. But like, I remember at that time there was somebody who I worked with, and he was a lot older than me, and we would smoke, and he introduced me to ecstasy for the first time. And I remember doing that, and after I did that, my whole brain felt different, man, and it was crazy. Things really started spiraling after that point. I quit my job. Um, I quit my job. Um, I said in my other video too, my hair, I could start noticing going thin. So that was the first time I like shaved my head. I hated it because it was just too much, too quick, and I just lost it really. And I think like around that time, I got my tattoo on my face. It might have been a little after, but just around that whole time period, you just know that things were going insane. And it really got to the point where, man, I just got really depressed, broke, suicidal, you name it. I started really struggling with anxiety, and so it was crazy. And then I remember, I was on medication. I had a seizure. It was just, man, anything you can think of, man. And run-ins with the law. I was doing a lot of illegal criminal activity. It was just, looking back, it was crazy. So I'm lucky to have nothing on my record. I'm lucky to be alive right now. Some of the things I was into. And so, that being said, my breaking point really, I guess, not to say that I'm perfect now. I'm not perfect at all now, or like I don't have everything figured out. But I believe in Jesus, and that's taken me a long ways. But anyway, let me see what time we're at. All right, we're good for a little bit. I'm gonna probably make a part 2. So anyway, basically, I end up at the mental. I won't call it. I guess it was at the hospital. I was going through some stuff with anxiety and depression. End up in the hospital. I had to stay in the mental part for like 3 days, and in there I just was like, no, this is when I got the face tattoo, man. Now that I think about it. So anyway, I get out of there. I think everything's good, but really I just went right back to the path I was on after I got out of the mental hospital. You know what I mean? And pretty much nothing really changed. And I guess it got worse for a little bit, and I got the face tattoo. And from the time like 8th grade until like this time, I was like really into being a rapper. That was kind of my thing, and why I got the face tattoo. And that was what I was gonna do with my life. And so once I got out of the hospital, you would expect things to get better, but they didn't. And that's where I'm gonna stop this video, and I'm gonna have part 2 coming right after.